Uganda Airlines, we think that it's important certain things come to your issues. We want to get some issues out of the way. Our work to see to it that entities such as Uganda Airlines get to function. You know, we're executing our mandate, is operating with the courtesy that it should, and engage a couple of gears and get agitated. We last were with them on Thursday, of meeting them again on Tuesday, to which there was no objection. We thought that that was very irresponsible, and as a committee, we felt taken for granted. We are human beings, Honorable Minister. We are understanding. You know, we know that these entities have work to do, but also emergencies can arise, or whatever the case might be. So when somebody wants to have a rescheduling for one reason or another, we are understanding, yeah? But when the request for reschedule comes when the meeting is already ongoing, and the request is not entailing an emergency, it was pre-planned activities. We ask, so why were we not informed on Thursday? Or Friday? Or worst case scenario, Monday? These members of parliament are busy people, as you know. And as chairman, it's not usually a very easy task for me to whip them to come. So when I get them here early, and then a witness doesn't show up, they feel agitated. They feel disrespected, and I don't blame them. So we think it's important that you call your troops to order. Because if we can ask you to come and you show up on time, you're the minister. I got a letter from the Ministry of Finance asking for a rescheduling. It didn't come in very good time, but at least it hasn't come this morning. So if the ministers can do this, I don't know what is wrong with your staff. So that's a matter that we thought we should put to your attention. We also discussed something which I said when the minister comes, we shall ask him to clarify. We saw in the press, yourself, Honorable Minister, seemingly castigating the work of this committee. You did say that we are pulling down individuals, I suppose referring to the CEO of Uganda Airlines, that we are spending a lot of time trying to pull down individuals. You are a member of parliament, you're a minister, you know the work of committees such as this one, and you know our mandate. So when I saw that video with yourself, I didn't read, I saw. I thought, okay, now that the minister will come, we shall ask him to clarify. Does he imagine the work we do is not relevant? It is just witch hunt trying to pull down individuals? We thought it would be good to get clarification from you, sir, on that issue. So I thought let's begin with that quick housekeeping and then we get to the deeper issues.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. But I would have been happy and preferred that I would appear with my counterpart, the Minister of Finance, because we are the two shareholders now of Uganda Airlines. But that is not here, the scheduling of the meeting. Thirdly, I want to be on record that I know and I appreciate the work of this committee. It's not the first time I've come before this committee. It's not the first time that this committee has helped me or helped the country to shape the institutions in this country. Honorable Chair, you remember I was here for the Entebbe Airport. I was here for URC. So there's no way I would demean the functions of the committee. Again, as a member of parliament, I know what the committees do. And that's why I endeavor, like now I have two committees. I'm supposed to go to infrastructure committee at the same time this committee. But I had to apologize for the other committee I sent to my junior. That's why I must always be on time on any committee. And if I will not be able, I would normally communicate in good time. So I can't be demeaning the work of the committee. I want that to be on record. And I never. My clip, I wish I could replay it. I was talking about media, and I did. very clearly. I said the media, and I have no apologies with that. I said the media, we are spending a lot of time. If you allow, I could play the tweet because it's here on record. And about my appeal was to all Ugandans, that let's try to be proud of what we have. Let's try to not to downplay our own institutions. Let's not try to kill the institutions which we have. That was my appeal. And Honorable Chair, it's not I don't think I'm the only person with that kind of opinion. I read an article in the Monitor on Tuesday by Sengova. He was writing about the same thing, the same stuff. I saw Honorable Mukura on TV talking about the same thing. Let's try to promote. I am not saying the committee should not do its work. Definitely, it must do its work. And that's a given. I can't take away the authority of the committee. This is paramount. So I totally want to, if I was misunderstood when I was making my appeal for people to stop tweeting and trying to malign the institution, I would say I'm sorry for that. But my intention was to make people feel that this airline is their asset. It's not a personal airline, it's a national asset. It should be everybody's pride. That's what I was talking about. And I would still call on Ugandans to do that. Yesterday, I think some of you saw the tweet by a white man who picked something, I think it was an old airline, a junk of the Uganda Airlines, and was saying this is Uganda Airlines. And instead of us maybe even deleting it, it went viral. And that's not true. Yeah, the Honorable Chair, I don't know whether you saw that tweet. This was a white man who was talking all kinds of terrible things about the country. And he used an image of an old airline, a junk. I don't even know where he got it because it's not even in Entebbe. And so these are the kind of things I was saying. We don't need to be like propagating this kind of information or which affects our airline. So that was my call, and I'll continue calling on Ugandans. Yes, as I said, we have issues. Totally. I don't deny. I have the auditor's report, sir, as you invited me. In respect of the auditor's report, we acknowledge this report. But I also want to say that Uganda Airlines, as of now, we may call it a state-owned enterprise, but that is not what it is meant to be. When it is being established, it is supposed to be a purely business enterprise. And as of now, much as we are holding 50-50 shareholding between me and Minister of Finance, formed on behalf of Ugandans, we are very hopeful that as soon as Uganda Airlines breaks even, shares will be floated for Ugandans to buy share in the airline. So this is not a parastatal. It's not like URC. It's not like a Civil Aviation Authority. This is a company as in the Companies Act. That's how it was established. It has a board, it has management. And so issues of accounting, it's self-accounting. And that's why the Auditor General goes directly to talk and work with the Chief Executive Officer. So this is what I can say as of now. But again, I want to reiterate that I did not, and I never meant to belittle the committee. Never. The issue of saying we could have this in closed session, like some of those sensitive issues, maybe it's because of the background where I came from in the military. We used to have so many closed sessions on issues which were thought to be high of national importance. That's why I was saying, yes, we could go deep and investigate deep, but it could be done in a closed session. So That's my submission on those housekeeping issues, sir, and I will submit.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. It is a Public Accounts Committee, and so we do the work that we do on behalf of the public that invests money in entities such as Uganda Airlines, and that's why we do the work that we do. Of course, many other people might say certain things. You have mentioned, whether it be writers and the politicians. Sometimes we might not be that bothered by what they say, but those who are within the precincts of this institution, we think that it's important that what is said out there does not be seen to demean the work of Parliament. So I'm glad you have made that clarification. Again, just for clarity, we do this work not because we want to destroy these entities. No, we do this work because we want to establish what is the problem. How then do we fix the problem? When you go to a doctor, before they treat you, they first open up if it's a wound, You don't cover it up and say, just give me treatment. They need to establish what exactly. They need to diagnose and then find a remedy. That's why we do what we do. We want these entities to be able to function. And as you have mentioned, the Auditor General's report raises so many issues. And that's why we pick interest. We have 121 entities under us as a committee. Truthfully, we are not able to interact with all of them, given the time frame. You have just, a few months. So when we start with those which we think are ailing, at least according to the Auditor General's report, we want that action gets to be taken. We want things to happen the right way. And we are waiting, for example, for a Treasury memoranda on Uganda Railways Corporation, on Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. We did release our reports. We want to know as Parliament our recommendations, what actions have been taken to see to it that these entities get to function the right way. You remember we made a case for Uganda Railways Corporation to say these people, they should be paid. That cannot be said by people who want to destroy the entity. Yes, we shall call them to order, put their heads on the chopping block where things need to be fixed, but we vouch for them. And we want to see how we can vouch for Uganda Airlines after we have dealt with the issues that need to be dealt with. Let me not dwell so much on that issue. I want us to now dig deep into issues, some raised by the Auditor General's report. As a committee, our mandate is wider than just the Auditor General's report. When you read our rules of procedure 159C, when an entity is under us, we are responsible for playing an oversight role to see that this entity is healthy. So some issues are raised by the Auditor General's report, some might not, but we dig up, When, for example, we meet some staff members of some entities who say there is a problem here, we are suffering here, as a committee, help us. It might not be in the Auditor General's report, but it is within our mandate to establish what is happening here. How can we deal with it? So that's why we are here and doing the work that we are doing.
Clarification, Mr. Chairperson.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, to have some of these discussions held without the cameras present, even in the clip that is making rounds, it is what you are referring to. You've as well hinted on the same now. We would like to know what are those issues that you find not fitting to be taken to the public, this being a public institution. Because for you not to be misquoted, for someone not to think that maybe you are covering up something, what are those sensitive issues that you think Ugandans are not supposed to know in the due course of the investigations being made?
Honorable Chair, if I say those, then the media is here, so I'll have said them. So I'll have not achieved what I wanted to achieve. So I pray that maybe at some point, if you allow, we could have depth discussions on this matter.
Would someone take it for a cover-up, Mr. Honorable?
Let's do this. I suggest we don't do. Let's dig in. If at any one point there is particular information that the minister wants to avail to us, and because it's his right, like any other witness, You know, a witness might say, Honorable Chair, I want to be truthful about certain issues, I want to give information, but I'm afraid I can't say it with the cameras around. Any witness can say that, and we have had witnesses ask for that, and we allow, and we say, okay, maybe keep that for the tail end, we shall ask the media to leave, and then we get that information. Because we also want the information. You know, if a source says, I want to be protected, I want to tell you, but I'm not able to tell you when the cameras are here. It's also in my interest as the chairperson to get that information. So, if at any one time there is any particular information that you think you want to provide, you let us know, and then we can request our friends to give us some time. So, we'll work that as we keep moving. Honorable Minister, we wanted to understand, now that you're confirming that Uganda Airlines has 2 shareholders, and that's as of now. That's Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Works, not Minister of Finance and Minister of Works. And it will be important that we get some of that documentation. We don't have it, which stipulates ownership. You know, I hope we can get it soon enough so that we know. There's too many rumors out there. Our duty is to understand and get the truth. So now that you're here, we want to get this information. People think now this Uganda Airlines, who exactly owns it? I'm sure you read these things. We must get to know. So we should understand and get those details. What would you say is the role of these 2 shareholders, now that you represent one of the shareholders, the ministry for which you're minister?
Thank you, services of my permanent secretary. But when this company was being set up, I think it had to follow the Company Act, the company regulations. And at that time, because we could not put it, as I said, we can't put it out there for shareholders, people to buy shares in that company. Very few, if any, would buy a share in a company which is not even breaking even. So the legal mind advised that we set up a company. We set up a company in the name of Uganda Airlines Limited, which was registered as a company on the 30th of January 2018. And the Attorney General guided on these matters. Parliament also passed that provision. And that's why now it became a company. And that's how we come to, as of now, as I said, hold 50-50 shares for and on behalf of Ugandans. The documentation, we'll be able to bring it to the committee. My PS will be able to do that. But PS, you can add on this.
Chair and members, precisely the role of the shareholder